Hey, what's happening? I'm Jeff Reber with ERA Heavener Realty and 904living.com, and we're going to talk Jacksonville real estate and specifically multiple offer situations. So this is happening quite a bit these days. If you're in the market to buy a home and you're buying a home below $350, you've probably run into a few situations where there are more than one people or more than one persons trying to buy the same house. So I thought I'd just give a few tips that will hopefully help you in those situations. And the next time you're at a dinner party and somebody's talking about their home buying woes, if you're not buying a house, you can share these with them. So to start off, and there are basically 5 things that I'm going to mention. The first of which is shortening the time frame or the response time on your offer to the seller. So giving them, till the end of the day to respond to your offer. And this may not always work because the seller doesn't necessarily have to respond, but at least you're trying to move them in the right direction of getting an answer quickly. The second is removing unnecessary contingencies. So normally in a real estate deal, if you're getting a loan, you would have a financing contingency. You'll probably have an inspection contingency, an appraisal contingency. And so these can add up. And if you're adding anything on top of that, and who knows what this may be. Maybe you have a home to sell. It can get quite nerve-wracking for the seller to have to worry about all of these things happening and happening in a timely manner so that they can sell the house. So if you can limit the number of contingencies that you're asking for, that can certainly help your offer and give the seller some peace of mind. The third is checking listings that have been off of the market for some time. And this is actually something that I do for my buyers. I call expired listings, or basically owners who had advertised their home for sale in the past. It didn't sell, and so now I'm revisiting those sellers and trying to determine if they're still hoping to sell and if maybe we can make a deal with a buyer that I'm working with at the time. So that could be something that you mentioned to your current real estate agent, to check in with expired listings for opportunities. The fourth is make things easier on the seller. And here's what I mean by that. Buy them a U-Haul truck, rent them a storage shed, and put that in writing. Make it part of the deal, just so that they know you're trying to make their life easier. They may see that as more of an advantage than potentially another buyer making a higher offer. And that's one of those things that can really help you out in a negotiation. And then the last thing is go for the emotional appeal. Write a letter, detail why you think it's a great home for you or you and your family, how you're going to take care of it, what you see that's so great about the community. Because at the end of the day, the seller who's lived in the home for 10, 15, 20 years wants to know that the place is going to be taken care of. A side note, this may not work for bank-owned properties or relocation companies because they probably don't care about the emotional side of the transaction. But if it's a homeowner that's lived in the home for some time, this could really add some value to your offer without having to increase the price. So I hope this was helpful. Have a great week, and feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email if you have questions. 904-434-5154 and Jeff at ERA.com. Take care.